Hey, everybody. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. Hope you're having a good day. First, I just want to start out by saying thank you to all of our supporters and all the people out there that reached out and that offered their help and did everything you did. So, thank you guys. We are almost at where we need to be. But okay, so which I'll do another video about that probably tomorrow. Just look for that. But I want to go over and discuss some of the stuff that's going on today. We'll go through a bunch of articles, a bunch of video clips, and just look at the world, around us, things that are actually going on. So thank you guys for being here. Let me go over here. Give me 1 second, y'all. Please hit that thumbs up on your way in. Hey, Daisy. Hey, Sugar. Hey, Evie. And hello to everybody else that's in here. Hey, Llama. Okay. So I'll give everybody a minute, give people a minute to get in here. And then we will get started. Always glad to be here where it's real and not afraid to discuss things. Yes, certainly. Glad you're here. Keeping it real over here. Okay. Let me get started. We'll pull this stuff. I'll get this stuff pulled up here. All right. I might as well just start up here. Okay. We'll start from the top. Hey, Mama Moon. All right. Let me mute this. This is short, but Epstein met with CIA boss under Obama before. All right.
Pedophile Jeffrey Epstein was arrested. So why do we still know nothing about him? Well, we're finding out tonight some answers. The Wall Street Journal just got its hands on Jeffrey Epstein's private calendar, and it was a lot more suspicious than Brett Kavanaugh's. Epstein was meeting with the kind of people you'd think would steer clear of a convicted pedophile. Jeffrey Epstein was meeting with one of Barack Obama's top lawyers, Catherine Rumler. She met with Epstein dozens of times. Epstein even tried to set up Obama's lawyer to work for Bill Gates. How is Jeffrey Epstein a fixer between Obama's lawyer and Bill Gates? Epstein was also meeting with Joe Biden's CIA director. He wasn't CIA director at the time. He was Barack Obama's deputy secretary of state. William Burns was working for John Kerry at the State Department and meeting with Jeffrey Epstein, a known pedophile. And then Burns becomes CIA director. Today's director of the CIA went to Epstein's Manhattan townhouse where Epstein had sex with underage girls and, where he filmed other men having sex with underage girls. And William Burns went there and was then promoted to the director of the CIA. Now, I wonder if the future CIA director saw the portrait of Bill Clinton in a blue dress hanging in Epstein's parlor room. A few years later, Epstein was arrested and then hung himself in a jail cell while security cameras just happened to not be working and the replacement guards just happened to fall asleep. And 2 years later, Biden just happens to pick William Burns to run the CIA. So what are we supposed to think? It's never been more clear Epstein was an intelligence asset. Not only was he working for the CIA, Israeli intelligence, maybe even Russia intelligence. So was the American government allowing an asset to traffic and molest teenage girls all over the world for intelligence? Were we allowing Epstein to commit crimes against children for blackmail material? Well, we asked the CIA director, William Burns, why were you meeting with a convicted pedophile at his disgusting townhouse? And the CIA director said this: the director did not know anything about him, other than that he was introduced as an expert in the financial services sector and offered general advice on transition to the private sector. They had no relationship. So Obama's State Department official couldn't have asked anybody else in the entire country for help with a job in finance? He could have called any CEO, any hedge fund manager, any banking director. But he meets with Jeffrey Epstein, a guy that doesn't even really have a real business, a guy that doesn't even have a website, a guy that, as far as we know, only had one client, the CEO of Victoria's Secret. That doesn't add up, Bernsey. And this explains the sweetheart deal back in 2006. This explains the prison cell cover-up. And this explains why all the Epstein tapes went missing. Everything Epstein recorded, everything, missing. Every property he owned. But when he died, the Fed seized all the tapes, and the only person who's ever been arrested since then was the Madam, Maxwell.
Jeffrey Epstein found me almost immediately. He knew exactly where I was, the location. And I knew then that I was being filmed. I was being watched 24/7. There were cameras all over the island.
So the CIA has all the sex tapes, and they've been blackmailing like crazy. This is the blackmail jackpot. Hours of video starring the world's most important people in Epstein Island, and the Manhattan townhouse, and the Palm Beach estate, and the New Mexico ranch. Bill Clinton was good pals with Jeffrey. Flew on the Lolita Express 26 times, went to his private island. So when someone does something that doesn't make any sense, maybe it's because they don't want to be doing what they're doing. Maybe it's because someone's telling them what to do and threatening to release the tapes if they don't.
One of the biggest things, and they collected all of this evidence, all these tapes, all these CDRs, all of these camera footage. They collected so much stuff, and yet not one person has ever been arrested. Now, I will say this. They are arresting the clients because they are the clients. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Hey, so you've come to my house to complain about my baby wearing pink.
I was just asking really why you keep putting her in pink and not other colours.
Well, traditionally, girls often wear pink.
Well, I think you'll find that was back in the day. I don't think it's today. I think you can wear any colour you want now.
One that you can. She has other like clothes as well, but her favourite colour is pink.
Well, I've only ever seen her in pink, and I think that's not allowing her to have freedom of what
do you mean
gender
freedom?
She wants to be.
Freedom?
Well, she should be like,
She's a baby.
She's not a baby.
She's baby. She's 2.
She looks a lot older than that to me. But anyway.
Well, hold a minute. What's any of your concern?
Well, it's my concern because I believe that the world has got better since we've got all this fluidity with genders and all the different types of genders now.
Okay.
And I think by dressing someone in pink, if she doesn't want to be a girl when she's older, she wants to be a or transgender or whatever, then she'll have been dressed in pink and you would have confused her. So I think it's nicer to dress people in all different colours. I mean, she'd look beautiful in yellow, wouldn't she? Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, she's wearing yellow now. Hey,
Oh, yes,
baby.
she is. I hadn't seen she was sorry. But she's got pink trousers on with rainbows on. Now, I do like the rainbow. I definitely like the rainbows on her trousers. Now, that's good.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Firstly, yeah, you're wearing pink glasses, okay?
I think you'll find these are mauve. Are you colourblind?
Mauve.
Something. These are mauve. These are
Mauve.
not. What colour are these, young lady? Yeah, she says pink, but they're not pink. They are mauve. Mauve glasses.
Okay. So
And actually, they're blue inside. So a little bit of pink, mauve, and blue. I've got all the colours, you see.
sorry.
Much healthier for the brain, the mindset.
Sorry. So, I'm just a little bit baffled to like why you're actually here.
I'm just asking why you keep dressing and going in pink. I think you should give her more choices of colour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But however I want to dress her. Okay. Yeah. The way how I parent her is nothing to do with you.
Well, it is to do with me because I feel for people these days, and I think they should have more choices of what colours they want to wear.
But
what
she's
they want to
two.
be.
She's two.
Well, I don't think it matters.
I don't need to teach her about all this. She what is right? No, as in like what is traditional is she's a girl. I'm a boy.
I mean, good Lord. I would love somebody to come up to me and tell me how to dress my child. Let me tell you. I mean, I can't even believe that somebody would walk up to somebody like that and say that. I would drop some education on you real quick, woman. That's what I would be saying. Listen, lady. It's just, see, it's just the end thing. It's sad. Okay, let's move on, shall we? So apparently now, stores, I don't know if this is all over, but apparently this is in Sacramento, California. And stores are just locking everything up from nails, beauty to makeup. Like apparently everything in the store now is locked up. And so what are these stores planning on doing? Like hiring extra staff to just follow every customer around because you're going to need a freaking store person to unlock every single thing you need to buy. Instead of locking everything in the store up, right? Wouldn't it make more sense to just arrest the people that are stealing in these stores? Lock them up instead of locking up all this. I mean, this just seems silly to me. What is going on? Okay, let me just play through this video. I mean, that is crazy. And if you've ever gone to like Walmart or anything to buy, let's say, a video game or a video game controller or something like that, it's all locked up. So then you gotta wait. What is going on? Oh. And you've gotta wait like 20 minutes for this person to finally be able to come over and help you. I mean, I can only imagine what it would be like to go into these stores where everything's locked up and you have to wait for a set. Like, I wouldn't even want to go and deal with that. That just seems like such a huge freaking waste of time to me. Start locking up the people that are looting these damn stores, and this would not be an issue. I mean, I see video after video after video every single day of people just going into stores, grabbing a bunch of shit and running out the front door. I mean, I saw a lady today that literally went into a grocery store, filled her entire cart and like walked out and was throwing it all in the trunk while this employee was like trying to stop her. But they don't get arrested for this. So of course they're going to come back and do it again and again and again and again, because nobody wants to do anything and prosecute these people who are committing these crimes. I mean, it's just absurd to me. And the people in the stores are being told to just let them go. Don't worry about it. But I mean, people are fed up. Like, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's move on, shall we? Okay. Y'all like Jeff Dunham? Funnier than hell.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Let's play this where Walter is Joe Obama. Okay. Let me mute myself. Please hit that thumbs up, y'all.
President.
And, you know what's crazy to me? It is super funny. But what's crazy to me is everybody knows, right? Everybody can see the level of corruption. Everybody can see the shit that this man has done. And nobody can do a thing about it. You know, it's like Hunter. You know, he's weighing out crack in a hotel with hookers, and he's got it on video, and he's not behind bars. Last time I checked, that's a controlled substance and it's illegal, right? Why isn't he locked up? For all of the videos and all of the shit that came out from this guy's laptop, it's amazing to me that, dude, that nobody can touch him. I mean, it's the Biden crime family. It is crazy. Okay. Check this out. Look at this guy. He saved this baby. I say baby. They got to be like 2 or 3 years old. Fell out of the window, right? Check this out. A real hero that actually saved someone's life, that did something good. Let's share it, right? We can't always just share the bad news. Now he's on the 8th floor. So the baby's up on the 9th floor. Oh my gosh. Well, what's really crazy to me about this, look at that. Is that little kid, like, there was nobody, where was the parents, right? Because there was nobody there to grab the baby's hands and pull him back into the window. You know, this guy had to do it from the floor underneath. So it's like, what is going on here? But thank God to that guy, that baby was safe, or it would not have ended well at all. We do need more people like that in the world. Okay. Now, a Democrat member of the Colorado House of Reps arguing that the penalty for exposing oneself to a minor online should be reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor in the name of equity. So wait a second. What this woman is saying, okay, this is what I would be saying, right? You want to take people who expose themselves to minors on the internet, and instead of charging them with a felony and putting them in jail, you want them to be charged as a misdemeanor, a slap on the wrist, so they can go right back to doing the same exact thing tomorrow. It is sad that we live in a world. Bella, get down. It is sad that we live in a world where they're trying to normalize these things. I mean, if you can't, Bella, that is so loud. All right, come on. If you cannot see that this is a clear attack on children and they're not out, if you can't see that there's an agenda and it's all being operated at children, I mean, you got to open up your eyes. You got to listen, because they're not even hiding it anymore. They come right out and they tell you. It's absurd. Let me mute this.
Someone would say, as we heard about 10, that if a person exposes themselves to a minor online, it's a felony, and that it is, the words were, unjust for it to only be a misdemeanor. The exposure online is a felony because of a policy choice. That's not some written in stone, pre-existing, happened with the Big Bang fact. We chose that. We could have chosen, I wasn't here for the debate, so I can't say should have, but we could have chosen to align the offenses at the misdemeanor level. And we're being asked, members, as part of the justification to do anything other than adopt L008, we're being asked to consider that this offense, if done online, is a felony, but it's only, and I say only gently, because the consequences of a misdemeanor sex offense charge and or conviction are severe. But we're being asked to consider that it's only a misdemeanor for one and a felony for the other. It will happen again and again that I'll try to reframe this argument and fail, but I'll keep trying because it's worth it for victims and survivors and people who are over prosecuted to try. But the calls to parity, the calls of that we have to be just, that the charging has to be the same, those calls are answered if we align the penalties at any other level. It should shock our conscience and make us deeply uncomfortable as a body that the only direction, let me edit that, that too often the most common direction in which we change a criminal level is to increase it. When we call for parity, the more equitable call would be to align these offenses at the misdemeanor level that has a decade minimum of forced inclusion on a sex offender registry, that impacts lives in ways that I dearly wish that you don't know. The consequences of a misdemeanor sex offense charge are dire. You achieve parity and equity in charging by aligning them at the appropriate level where we already had them.
First of all, it looks to me like she has someone in her life that was charged with a felony for a sex offense, because she seems to be very affected by this. Okay. Which is craziness. And then on top of that, she wants to talk about, oh, she's worried about how sex offenders are treated and that they're put on the registry and that affects their life. What about the children's lives that these freaks are exposing themselves to? What about their life? When things happen to these children, they're changed forever. But by all means, lady, let's worry about how these sex offenders feel. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's move on. Oh, speaking of Hunter, here he is. I just read out the bag. It's 2.06.
2.07 without the bag.
Are you shitting me? The sitting president of the United States' son in a hotel room weighing out drugs with hookers, and he's not in jail. It is crazy to me, you guys. But it's just, we're going in the wrong direction. And they're taking us here. And what the people need to remember, listen, the government was formed to work for us, not the other way around. The Constitution was made to protect us from the government and their tyranny, not the other way around. You know, and it's been twisted and turned on to the people. And that is bull. That is baloney 100%. And I cannot for the life of me see why more people will not stand up against that. I cannot for the life of me see why people see it happening and act like it's a normal thing. Okay? They work for us. They don't own us. They work for us. And that's what it was made for. If he was if he was anybody else, he would be in handcuffs. He would have been in jail. If Biden wasn't president and if Biden wasn't, I can't say that, but if he wasn't connected the way that he is, he would not be up there. Everybody knows what he's done. Everybody knows what type of people these are. But listen, they don't own us. We don't work for them. They work for us. People need to remember that. Okay. Epstein's private calendar reveals prominent names, including CIA chief and Goldman Sachs, top lawyer. The nation's spy chief, a longtime college president, and top woman in finance. The circle of people who associated with Jeffrey Epstein years after he was a convicted sex offender is wider than previously reported. Yes. William Burns, director of the Central Intelligence Agency since 2021, had 3 meetings scheduled with Epstein in 2014. When he was Deputy Secretary of State, the documents show. They first met in Washington, and then Mr. Burns visited Epstein's townhouse in Manhattan. Catherine, I don't want to say that name wrong. Catherine something. A White House counsel under President Barack Obama had dozens of meetings with Epstein in the years after her White House service and before she became a top lawyer at Goldman Sachs Group, Inc. in 2020. He also planned for her to join a 2015 trip to Paris and a 2017 visit to Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. Leon Botstein, the president of Bard's College, invited Epstein, who brought a group of young female guests to the campus. Noam Chomsky, a professor, author, and political activist, was scheduled to fly with Epstein to have dinner at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse in 2015. None of their names appear in Epstein's now public black book of contacts or in the public flight logs of passengers who traveled on his private jet. The documents show that Epstein's arranged multiple meetings with each of them after he had served time in jail, or after he had served jail time in 2008 for a sex crime involving a teenage girl and was registered as an SO. The documents, which include thousands of pages of emails and schedules from 2013 to 2017, haven't been previously reported. Now, see, herein lies the issue. We live in a world today where all this information is out there. It's all known. It's all public. Everybody knows, but nobody can do a damn thing about it. And that's sad. It's sad that that's what happened to our world. Okay. Let's move on. I appreciate all of you guys. Sugar, you guys, I think I can't even say into words how much I really appreciate all of you who really truly support our channel and support our what we stand for and what we stand against, and just, you know, showing your support. I appreciate it. Me and Chad both do. All right, let's listen to this young lady.
Novely here again. The other day I was walking down the hallway at Lakeview Elementary School to give a teacher a retiring gift. I looked up onto the wall and saw a BLM poster and an Amanda Gorman poster. In case you don't know who that chick is, she's some girl who did a poem at Biden's so-called inauguration. I was so mad. I was told 2 weeks ago at this very meeting spot, no politics in school. I believed what you said at this meeting. So at lunch, I went up to my principal to tell him about the BLM poster and that I wanted it down. He said it's not coming down. I was like, yeah, it is, because the school board said on May 25th, no BLM or politics in school. He said, that's weird. They were the ones who made them. I was stunned. When I was here 2 weeks ago, you told us to report any BLM in our schools. Apparently, you know they're in our schools because you made the signs. I said there should be no BLM in schools, period. It does not matter the color you make the posters and the font you use. We all understand the meaning. It is a political message about getting rid of police officers, rioting, burning buildings down while King Governor Welch just sits on his throne and watches. We all know. Changing the font or the color of posters does not change the meaning. I am 9 years old and I know that. You expect me to believe that you did not know what you were doing by making these posters? Come on, people. I do not judge people by the color of their skin. I don't really care what color their hair, skin, or eyes is. I judge by the content or the way they treat me. MLK said, I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. That dream has come true. I do not care or look at the color of skin, but you make me think of it. I have Asian, Mexican, white, Chinese, black friends, and I don't care. I like them because some of them make me laugh, some are sweet and kind, sporty, or share the love of God. They are just my friends. You have lied to me, and I am very disappointed in all of you. You cannot even follow your own rules. If you're going to do that, why do we follow any rules we deemed unfit or ridiculous? I'm not following your mask rule anymore then. Get the posters out of our schools. Courage is contagious, so be courageous.
I mean, that is awesome. See, exactly. We need more children like that. More children that are like, listen, I'm not doing this. with your BS and your nonsense and all your bullshit politics in schools. I'm not here for that trash, right? It's crazy, but awesome. I applaud her. Okay, let's move on.
In the 7th, 10th grade. In the 7th, 10th grade at Nichols Middle School. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. I never thought that the shirt I wore to school on March 21st would lead me to speak with you today. On that Tuesday morning, I was taken out of gym class to sit down with two adults for what turned out to be a very uncomfortable talk. I was told that people were complaining about the words on my shirt, that my shirt was making some students feel unsafe. Yes, words on a shirt made people feel unsafe. They told me that I wasn't in trouble, but it sure felt like I was. I was told that I would need to remove my shirt before I could return to class. When I nicely told them that I didn't want to do that, they called my father. Thankfully, my dad supported my decisions and came to pick me up. What did my shirt say? 5 simple words. There are only 2 genders. Nothing harmful, nothing threatening, just a statement I believe to be a fact. I have been told that my shirt was targeting a protected class. Who is this protected class? Are their feelings more important than my rights? I don't complain when I see pride flags and diversity posters hung throughout the school. Do you know why? Because others have a right to their beliefs just as I do. Not one person, staff, or student told me that they were bothered by what I was wearing. Actually, just the opposite. Several kids told me that they supported my actions and that they wanted one too. I was told that the shirt was a disruption to learning. No one got up and stormed out of class. No one burst into tears. I'm sure I would have noticed if they had. I experience disruptions to my learning every day. Kids acting out in class are a disruption, yet nothing is done. Why do the rules apply to one yet not another? I feel like these adults were telling me that it wasn't okay for me to have an opposing view. Their arguments were weak, in my opinion. I didn't go to school that day to hurt feelings or cause trouble. I have learned a lot from this experience. I learned that a lot of other students share my view. I learned that adults don't always do the right thing or make the right decisions. I know that I have a right to wear a shirt with those 5 words. Even at 12 years old, I have my own political opinions, and I have a right to express those opinions. Even at school, this right is called the First Amendment to the Constitution. My hope in being here tonight is to bring the school committee's attention to this issue. I hope that you will speak up for the rest of us so we can express ourselves without being pulled out of class. Next time, it may not only be me. There might be more students that decide to speak out. Thank you for your time and good night.
Awesome. Awesome. That's all I can say. I mean, and it is. And when you know what's sad is when you have children, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old children that are like, listen, what you're doing is wrong. You're only catering to this percentage when the rest of us have our rights too, and it's sad that kids can see that and full grown adults can't even see that, or they see it, they go along with it. A lot of people are go along to get along type of people. And that's not going to change things. That's not going to do anything. Like, you're not helping at all by just being a go along to get along type of person. Right? So I applaud these children for standing up and saying what needs to be said. Okay. Oh, wait for this one. Okay, guys. Okay. Pentagon doctor claims prescribing. Now, listen to this. Claims that prescribing transgender drugs to minors can cause psychotic illness to melt away. Yeah. A doctor who works and who is hired by the Pentagon, okay, is coming out and telling you that if you give your kids transgender drugs, puberty blockers, different hormones, shit like that, if you do that, any psychotic illness that they have will disappear. Schizophrenia. I mean, are you kidding me? That is so ass backwards. But they put it out there because they can do that. They can lie to the people because of the propaganda bill. They can lie to you. And the worst part is that so many people are going to hear that and go, holy shit. Wow, I can't believe it. Let me get my kids on some of this garbage. Children taking antipsychotic medication in the military health system for serious mental health illness were later administered gender-affirming pharmaceuticals, according to the Department of Defense health records, with one of its air-based physicians claiming the gender drugs could melt away psychotic conditions such as a schizophrenia diagnosis. So let me just put this. So this is what it is, okay? You're putting these drugs into these young kids, okay? You're putting these drugs into these kids that go against their natural biochemistry. They go against everything that their body is naturally going for, right? And you're going to tell me that that's going to make mental illness go away? No, that is stupid. That doesn't even make sense. Think about when your body gets anything foreign in there, right? You're trying to stop a natural process that's naturally happening inside that child's body. But when your body gets something in, what does it do? It tries to push it out. It tries to expel it because it's not supposed to be in there. And you're telling me that if I give my kids these drugs, that it's going to make their mental health issues go away? Because I'm standing here going, I can see how it's going to cause the exact opposite effect of that. Like, it's going to make their mental health worse because their body's going to be going, what the hell? What are you doing? Like, this is not natural. It's harming me. And then it's going to go, from your body up to your brain. Don't tell me that's good. Okay. And it's going to melt away any psychotic conditions that child has. I do not believe that for one freaking second. Oh, sassafras. Thank you. Thank you at the CNY family for shining your light and love. I try. Thank you so much. But have you ever heard a more ridiculous? Science is crazy though, when you actually think of the things that can be, don't verse what ain't done, come to big things. I just can't even believe that big load of crap is even out there. Okay, a study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine in 2021 entitled Mental Health Care Utilization of Transgender Youth Before and After Affirming Treatment discussed internal DoD health records from 2010 to 2018. The review showed that transgender kids in the DoD health system were being given heavy psychotropic medications such as antipsychotics while being sent through a gender-affirming pipeline. Drugs given to transgender youth typically include puberty blockers and hormones. That's what I'm saying. So if you give a kid puberty blockers that stops its natural progression of what it's supposed to be doing, that's automatically going to cause internally, it's going to cause your body to go haywire because it's like, it's stopping you from what's supposed to naturally happen. You cannot convince me ever that is healthy for a child, ever. Okay. Puberty blockers also stunt brain development. That I bet they do. That would not surprise me at all. I mean, that's just craziness though. But you know that there will soon be. Oh my God, my whole chat just went. Hold on a second. No, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. My chat just went and was gone. So let's move on. Okay. Oh my gosh, you got to see this. It's so funny. Chad goes, "That's fake. That's set up." I'm like, I don't even care. It's so funny. It made me laugh. Everybody, we need to laugh. I think it's funny. Okay.
So many options. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't really let the politics affect me. I've been drinking it my whole life. It hasn't changed me, so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was dying. When I saw that, I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh my, I was laughing so hard. It is so funny, right? I know. It's funny. Just makes you laugh. Sometimes you need a good laugh. He was like, okay, that makes sense. Let me grab some Bud Light. Looked over. He was like, okay, nope, putting that shit back. don't want that. Oh my gosh, too funny. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, it's funny. Can't help it. Okay. Chelsea Clinton says banning sexually explicit books from schools is harmful to children. Yeah, we know who your daddy is. Listen, we know the agenda you're pushing. And of course, you're on The View. Do y'all watch The View? I'm just wondering if anybody in my chat watches The View. Because that has got to be one of the, I mean, that show should be canceled. It is, I can't even listen to them. Any of them. I cannot stand any of the women on that show. It is like sickening. I cannot stand it. Okay. Chelsea Clinton came out in favor of PORN for children. Bill Clinton's only daughter said banning sexually explicit books from schools is harmful. Chelsea Clinton linked to an NBC News article reporting on the sexually explicit LGBT-themed children's books banned from libraries. In its annual book censorship report, the American Library Association documented 1,269 challenges to more than 2,500 books in 2022, the highest number of attempted book bans since the association began tracking such efforts in 2001. It was a 75% jump from 2021, which held the previous record. Of the 13 books that made the ALA's list of most challenged books last year, 7 titles, including 3 of the top 4, were challenged for having LGBTQ content that the association found, the LS said. Chelsea Clinton said PORN books for children are a vital way for kids to learn about themselves. Okay. I have seen some of these books, and let me just tell you that I am a full grown, I'm 34 years old, and I don't feel comfortable looking at the pages that were in some of these books. It was sick. It was disgusting. It was definitely something that children should not be reading for sure. And we're not just talking words here. We're talking pictures, descriptions, telling kids how to do certain things, telling kids at what age they should start doing these certain things. And let me tell you that if I ever caught one of my children with a book like this, it would not be good. Okay? It would not be good. But so you ask yourselves why schools have these books in the library for your kids to be able to read, for your kids to be able to look at, for your kids to be able to learn from. Well, look, mommy, look what's in this book. You know, or you see something and you're like, where in the hell did you get that from? Well, I got it from a book at school. It said it's okay. See, no. Schools, honestly, this is my honest opinion. Schools should be shut down, period. They are no longer an educational place for your children to be. They are literally factories where they can pump your kids full of this terrible information, pump them full of their ideas and their logics and their agendas and their bullshit, and put it all in your kids' head for all of these years. They should be shut down. Like, it is that dire to children's future. Seriously. I mean, it's absurd. Okay, that's the end of the article. Big shocker there, right? Her dad's been on Lolita Express 27 times. What do you think he went there for? Okay, let's move on. You know, and some of you guys might not care. Some people might not care about this. You know, I think everybody that has children should care. Everybody that has grandchildren or nieces or nephews, you know, that's who they're going after. You know, they're not going after you and me because that shit don't play with me. You know, hell no. I am not buying into none of your garbage. But it's not us, guys. It's the kids that they're going after. These young, impressionable, naive, easily manipulated children. So I just think everybody should care. You know? Okay. Let's move on. Did y'all know there was such thing as SatanCon? I didn't. Attendees gather for 3-day SatanCon convention in Boston. Hundreds of Satanists attended the Satanic Temple's SatanCon in Boston, which included presentations and discussion panels, religious protesters. Well, let me just... freaking-sane. Okay.
Why don't we start with what MSG is? It's monosodium glutamate. It is a neurotoxin. What is a neurotoxin?
A neurotoxin is a substance that will stimulate brain cells to the point of killing them. When applied enough to receptors, the neurons die.
While they're doing that, they cause headaches, migraines, learning disabilities, Lou Gehrig's disease, list goes on and on. So why is this in food?
Because the industry that sells it makes a lot of money from the product. If you have a product that has some MSG in it, your product is going to be more flavorful.
And they've gone to great lengths to hide that. I found MSG hidden among many different labels. Can you give us some of the things that they use to hide MSG?
Hydrolyzed protein products.
Okay.
So you'll see hydrolyzed pea protein or hydrolyzed corn protein, hydrolyzed whey proteins, autolyzed yeast, yeast extract, sodium caseinate, maltodextrin.
Some of these foods, I mean, you live with them every single day, and they have horrible things in them. Hidden.
Yes, it is in many packaged foods, many prepared foods. And it's not there for you. Okay. It's not there to benefit you. It's not good for you. But because it makes them loads and loads of money, and they know that it's going to make you sick eventually over the years, they put it in the food. I mean, and it's just another way that, again, they are not working for you. They're working against you. They're working against all of us. Okay.
Gender is a fact. You have to look at it from a woman's perspective. Look at it like this. Caitlyn Jenner, whom I've met, wonderful person. Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit. She's better than all of you. Never even had a period. Ain't that something? Oh, I'd be mad as shit if I was a woman. I'd be mad if I was me. If I was in a BET Awards sitting there and they're like, and the winner for Eminem, my man. Gender is a fact. This is a fact. Every human being in this room, every human being on earth had to pass through the legs of a woman to be on earth. That is a fact. Gender is.
Just want to drop a little truth bomb in there for everybody.
Leave because they want to keep their jobs. If there's a single, you look around and you see so many people break under the strain, under the downward pressure of whatever this is that we're going through. And you look with disdain and sadness as you see people you know become quislings, you see them revealed as cowards, you see them going along with a new thing, which is clearly a poisonous thing, a silly thing, saying things they don't believe because they want to keep their jobs. If there's a single person in this room who hasn't seen that through George Floyd and COVID and the Ukraine war, raise your hand. Oh, nobody? Right. You all know what I'm talking about. The instinct, which again is inherent to be like everybody else and not to be cast out of the group, not to be shunned, that's a very strong impulse in all of us from birth. And it takes over, unfortunately, in moments like this, and it's harnessed, in fact, by bad people in moments like this. I'm not mad at people, I'm just sad, I'm disappointed. How could you go along with this? You know it's not true, but you're saying it anyway? Really? You're putting your pronouns in your email? You're ridiculous. But no one else thinks it's ridiculous. Oh no, it's the pronouns in the email. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? You're saying things you can't define. LBGTQIA+? Who's the plus? The plus is invited to my show anytime. Find a plus and I'll interview him. What's it like to be a plus? Am I a plus? I'm serious. I feel like I'm an addition. Does that make me a plus? No one even knows what it is. And the whole society, LGBTQIA+. All right, what's the plus? Oh, shut up, racist. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Tucker, 2028.
Over 1 million children vanish each year.
The FBI has found dozens of missing children in Los Angeles. It's all part of what's being called Operation Lost Angels.
83,000 each month.
They found nearly 978 children went missing in 2019.
2,700 a day.
72 missing children across Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, and Georgia in the past several weeks.
115 per hour.
In the meantime, the Arizona Department of Child Safety says tonight they can't locate 44 children who are supposed to be in their custody.
1 every 30 seconds.
Some in this operation were trafficked, some sexually and or physically abused.
This child trafficking thing is real. It has always existed.
Well, my name is Nancy Schaefer, and I'm from the state of Georgia in the United States. And thank you for your gracious invitation. I will share with you on the unlimited power of Child Protective Services. I served in the Georgia State Senate. And after 4 years of viewing the ruthless and unsparing actions of Child Protective Services, I wrote a scathing report entitled "The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services." The report cost me my Senate seat. This is not to say that there are not those children in wretched situations who need to be removed. There are, and we all agree.
If you have history in your past, you know of a story of an abusive child who was saved by CPS, you can't then assume that CPS saves everybody. Who remain involved in CPS? Hospital doctors. Why? Because people trust hospitals and doctors. They shouldn't, but they do. And in the same hospital where babies are being born, the same hospital babies are being kidnapped. In the same place where people are being cured of cancer, the same place people are being killed with remdesivir and ventilators. And people can't separate that because they see it all as one. Something's either all good or it's all bad.
But tonight, I'm talking about those children removed from their homes intentionally for profit.
What is child trafficking? Child trafficking is when you kidnap a child for profit. In other words, if you take a child from its family and give it to somebody else for money, that's the definition of child trafficking. But what you need to recognize is that defines what the states are doing with the federal government.
There was no order.
There doesn't have to be an order. My baby is fine.
The mommy can go without doctor's order, but not the baby.
The states are taking children, giving them to somebody else for money that they get from the federal government. That means that all 50 states are involved in government subsidized child trafficking. It's a ring. It is the largest and most pervasive child trafficking ring in the history of the world by sheer money and numbers.
Children are seized unnecessarily from their families due to the federal aid entitled the Adoption and Safe Families Act.
It was put into law in 1997 by Bill and Hillary Clinton, and I said it that way on purpose. And it is a law that literally steals money from the Social Security Fund and gives this money to the states in order to incentivize them to kidnap babies.
To receive the adoption incentives or bonuses, local CPS must have more children. They must have more merchandise to sell.
Every child, once you've added it all up, is worth approximately $1 million to the state. But we've been told that this is a $60 to $80 billion a year industry, meaning the federal government is taking $80 billion a year and giving that money to all of the 50 states to kidnap children.
Parents are victimized by the system that makes a profit for holding children longer and bonuses for not returning children to their parents.
But their own statistics state that 83% of all children who are taken by CPS, Child Protective Services, are for unsubstantiated allegations, meaning never should it have happened in the first place. So that imagine anything else in the world where you know you get it wrong 83% of the time and you admit it, but you just keep doing it.
For real. Now I'm going to tell you, when I was 12 years old, I lived with my grandparents, and my grandpa had just died, and my grandma was like, I don't know, like 70 something years old, 72, I think. And one day I was getting ready to go to a school dance. I had friends over. The CPS workers showed up at our door with a cop, and they said that they got a report that I was basically out of control and my grandmother could not handle me. Like somebody else had reported this. My grandma was flipping out. I was flipping out. I was like, I will run away and you will freaking never see me again. I'm not going with you. They were like, we are removing you from this house. Yeah, this is no lie. They're like, we are removing you from this house and we are placing you in foster care. Now, they said to my grandma that this was going to be, I don't know, some temporary thing where they could find out if she was able to care for me or not. So it was supposed to be a temporary thing. At least this is what the lady was telling my grandma at the time. Well, I'm going to tell you, I was in there for 2 years. 2 years. And my grandma was fighting like hell every single day trying to get me released. Like, it was crazy. Finally, when I was 14 years old, my grandma got me back. But I'm telling you that this is what they do. They had no reason to come in and remove me. And it's not just me. I have seen other kids go through this same thing, but their parents never got them back. I mean, this is a real freaking thing. And that's why I say those are, you know, this is a hard thing because there are a lot of kids out there that are in abusive homes, that are getting mistreated, that somebody should step in and help them. But there are way more, I feel like, of kids that are taken for no reason. That they're not beaten, they're not abused, they're not doing any, you know, there was no reason for them to be removed, but they are removed. So, I mean, it's crazy. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Information for you tonight about a woman who was shot multiple times outside of a convenience store in Fayetteville. We now know that woman was pregnant and lost her unborn child.
25-year-old Brittany Rich says she had no idea the three men standing near the ice machine outside the Cumberland Food Mart were up to no good. That's her silver 2010 Dodge Avenger outside the store. Security camera video shows Rich leaving the store, and then the confrontation begins.
The guy said, give me that and grab my keys. And that's when I thought he was playing because he was young. I was like, what? And then I went to reach after him and he shot me.
Rich says she was shot several times. It all happened so fast.
He shot me the first time. Actually, I think I was shot 2 or 3 times before I really realized that he had a gun. And I looked at him and he had a gun in his hand. But I heard it and I felt it, but I was in shock.
After being shot, you see her stumble around the car for protection, then go back inside the store for help.
When I got in the store, I realized I was bleeding out, and I laid down, and everybody was standing around me. Nobody was really helping.
Meanwhile, the suspects couldn't get the car started. Rich says you have to know how to jiggle the keys just right to make it work. So you see them jump from the vehicle and flee on foot. Rich was taken to the hospital where they told her she was shot twice in the elbow. She says she can't feel her arm. She was also shot in her thigh, lower back, and stomach. She says she was 4 months pregnant and lost her unborn child.
I had stomach surgeries. I got 13 staples in my stomach. They took the bullets out.
I didn't see the entirety of the video, but not one person running over to comfort that woman through all of that. And what a horrendous situation.
Terrible. And the worst part is mainstream media is totally being silent about it. It's sad that we live in a world like this, but if the roles were reversed, it would be splattered all over the news 24/7. But it's not. And it should be. Lassie. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I believe there's something really big there. I need to do more research. Thank you for being a guiding light for we the people as we navigate through this deep darkness, Christy. God is with us. Yes, you're welcome. I try. Okay. Now, you know the video I made the other day about chemtrails? Let me just play this for you. When everyone wants to tell me I'm a conspiracy nut, okay. Look up in your damn skies.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly. As promising as it may be, moving forward on SAI would also raise a number of challenges for our government and for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change effects, such as ocean acidification, because SAI alone would not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. On the geopolitical side, the technology's potential to alter weather patterns and benefit certain regions of the world at the expense of other regions could trigger sharp opposition by some nations. Others might seize on SAI's benefits and back away from their commitment to carbon dioxide reductions. And as with other breakthrough technologies, global norms and standards are lacking to guide the deployment and implementation of SAI and other geoengineering initiatives.
That's what I say. They don't even hide anything anymore. They just come right out and tell you. And, if people don't say anything and they just let it happen, hey, that's where we are. Okay. Now, I am not going to play this video, but this is a TED Talk, okay? This is a TED Talk. And this woman is there talking about how being a pedo is a natural sexual orientation and people can't help it. So we need to decriminalize and stop looking at people that want to, go after your children. We need to stop looking at them in a bad light because it's not their fault. It's, it's just like, she's up here going, well, it's just like you can't choose who you fall in love with. So, I mean, we shouldn't look down on these people for their choice of wanting to, love up on your child. And it's disgusting. But do you see where it's going? In schools, there was just this video yesterday of this kid. He took it while he was in school, went on his phone. And when his mother seen it, she put it out online. And it was this teacher saying, listen, we cannot call them pedos anymore. We cannot say that because that's derogatory and it's not nice. So instead, we're going to call them MAPs, minor attracted persons. They're trying to normalize this. Is this what the plus is, right? That Tucker Carlson was talking about? Because this is going to be the next thing. This is going to be the next thing that they want to normalize. They want everybody to be okay with. And that will never happen in my world, that's for sure. I mean, I'm sorry, but people like that should not be allowed to be in society. They just shouldn't be. Every person who has a feeling like that towards children should be locked up and on their own island, like on an island somewhere where they cannot get, and it's surrounded by like alligators and shit. So they don't have any way of ever getting to society or around children or anything. But you have idiots like this person who is out here talking about how we need to normalize this, guys. We need to normalize this. And they're going to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And you know what? You know what the sad part is there's going to be people that go, you know what? She's right. Let's not hold it against them for who they love. They can't help it. It's not their fault. No, all them sick bastards need to be taken out of this. I am sorry, but they do. They should not be allowed to be in society with children. I mean, for God's sakes, these are children we are talking about here. Stop trying to normalize something like that. What is wrong with you people? Okay, Sass, be careful. Okay. Yes, leave our kids alone, you freaking bunch of freaks. Okay, now I'm going to read this to you. This was put out by a mother. And it sounds to me like she forced her son to do this. My son got his second blocker yesterday. Yay. It was going great until the doctor came in to perform the procedure. The doctor was amazing, by the way. My son freaked out after the numbing cream and after the numbing medicine was put in with the needle. He got so scared he refused to do the procedure. Luckily, Children's Hospital provided a child specialist, okay, to stay with him and to stay with us during the whole procedure. Her job was to calm him and distract him. It took over an hour of negotiation before he let the doctor continue. I literally bribed him with money. This is sick. This woman is sick and should be arrested. It was the most stressful hour. I was so scared he wasn't going to go through with it, and I just kept thinking of the consequences if he didn't. The medicine cost $43,000 plus the cost of the insertion packet. The medicine only lasts a few days, once prepared to insert. So coming back to put him to sleep for the procedure would be unlikely. Not sure the insurance would approve it again. I was so proud of him that he went through with it and cannot believe how brave he is. The whole way home was crying because he was releasing his stress. He kept saying how it's just not fair that he has to do this. And he's right, it's not. I really can't explain to my friends that don't have trans child how stressful this was. So I thought I would say it here. Being a parent of a trans child is not the same as just being a parent. Okay, and I am sorry, and I do not mean to swear, but you stupid bitch. Do you not hear? Like, you literally had to force your child. You had to pay your child. Your child was like, I'm not doing this. Get away from me. Get this doctor away from me. I don't want to do this. So you had to have a specialist there who could distract your child while you forcibly put this stuff into your child. And you bribed them to do so. The kid was crying all the way home because he was releasing stress. And he just kept saying how it's just not fair that he has to do this. Yet you got this sick woman who is forcing this on their children. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I've really tried to not let this like get into me and really affect my energies. And, you know, because I'm spreading the light. Okay. But parents like this, it just makes me sick. You know what? It's not okay. It's not okay. For God's sakes. You know, and it's scary because, like, I mean, we're at the age we are at, but what kind of life and future do our kids have here? I don't want my kids to live in this world with these people that think that this is okay, that do this with these kind. I mean, what in the heck? What? Come on, man. Jeez. Yeah. You know, this is a hard topic, and a lot of people are like, listen, this makes me uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, y'all, this is happening. So we have to talk about it. It has to be discussed, or it's not brought to the light, you know? I really appreciate your videos and help what's going on in the world right now. And God bless you for always sharing the truth about life. Amen, CNY family. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, I'm almost done. Is dinner done?
I think.
Okay. Hold on. All right, now let's listen to this person right here. Now this girl just got into a car accident and took 2 lives. Okay. You know, and another thing is, and listen, I don't want to tell other people how to raise their children. I don't want to do that. But if you look at the kids today, like this woman, like this chick right here, who seems to have been raised with no moral compass, no empathy, no compassion, no idea of what is right, what is wrong. And you know, the parents are to blame for that. They are. You know, teach your freaking kids what's right and what's wrong. Teach your kids to have a moral compass. Teach them morality. You know, teach them empathy for other humans, but also to be able to stand up for themselves when they know their rights are being violated, or their feelings are being pushed to the side. Okay.
Oh, hey, you never answered me about my car. I have school tomorrow, so how do I get my car?
Well, your car is totaled.
It's what?
Your car is totaled.
Totaled?
Totaled, wrecked.
Okay, so how do I get it to your school?
You don't.
So I don't go to school tomorrow, is what you're telling me?
No, man. You want me to be honest with you? You're going to jail. You don't have a bond. You killed 2 people tonight. I don't think you understand that. You do not have a bond. You are not getting out of jail. Your car is property of East Peoria Police Department because it's a crime scene. It killed 2 people tonight. You are clueless with that clearly. I've already explained this to you. You're going to jail for reckless homicide tonight. You're going to jail for aggravated DUI for killing 2 people. That's what's going on. So no, you're not going to school tomorrow. You're not getting your car out of impound.
Tuesday,
Did you just hear what I just told you?
you said I'm not going tomorrow. I'm talking about Tuesday.
Did you hear when I said
You
that
said I'm going to jail tomorrow.
you're going to jail when we're done here?
Yes.
Did you understand what I told that you killed 2 people tonight?
Yes. I'm just wondering when I can go to school.
Okay, we're done. You're all on body camera being completely careless about killing 2 people tonight. You could care less. That's sad and pathetic and horrible all at the same time.
Can you say that as a cop?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, so can I ask?
It's just sickening. I mean, damn. She doesn't even get it. It's like, wow, are you that thick? Holy cow. But somebody went wrong somewhere with that one. Okay. Hey, Daisy. Yeah, you missed a lot. You're late. I mean, you just have to, you're going to want to check out all of that stuff for sure. Okay, so here is a classroom. This kid is taking this video on his phone. This public school teacher at W.H. Madison High School in Dallas, Texas, did this in front of her class, pretending to shoot President Trump. This teacher was fired, and more like these should be fired. Not surprised they are losing their mind. This is definitely sick. We need to make sure we expose these bad apples from our schools. Every bad teacher should be fired from teaching at any school who feel they need to be that they need to indoctrinate our children. Like, what a lunatic. What the hell is that woman doing teaching in a school? Seriously. I don't know, you guys. It's insane. It is freaking insane where the world has gone, you know? And I just think that more people need to be on top of these things, and more people need to care, and, you know, more people need to be aware of what is coming for their children's future. It's insane. It is insane. So I hope you guys like this video. Please hit that thumbs up. Please sub to the channel. Please consider becoming a member. We would love to have you. We just try to spread the light. And in order to spread the light, you have to expose the darkness. And, you know, that's all we try to do here. Yeah. So like I said, please hit that thumbs up. Please sub. Anybody that wants to donate to the family, you know, we are going through some personal things here. We have gotten a lot of help and a lot of support from you, but anybody else that wants to help out, the links are all down in the description below. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions and keep spreading that light. Please share this video. Please share it on all socials. Please just share it. Thank you guys. I love you, and I will see you later. Have a good night, everybody.